สวัสดีค่ะเมื่อเร็วๆนี้นะคะอดีตผู้นำในเอเชียรวมทั้งนักวิชาการมาประชุมร่วมกันที่กรุงเทพเพื่อที่จะก่อตั้ง APRC Asian Peace and Reconciliation Council หรือว่าสภาสันติภาพและปรองดองแห่งเอเชียค่ะสภาแห่งนี้นะคะมีจุดมุ่งหมายที่จะช่วยแก้ไขข้อขัดแย้งที่เกิดขึ้นแล้วหรือว่าอาจจะเกิดขึ้นในอนาคตในภูมิภาคเอเชียมีอดีตผู้นำหลายท่านนะคะให้เกียรติมาร่วมประชุมด้วยอย่างเช่นอดีตนายกรัฐมนตรีของมาเลเซียอับดุลลอฮ์บาดาวีอดีตประธานาธิบดีของติมอร์ตะวันออกโฮเซรามอสฮอต้าเป็นต้นนะคะแล้วก็ยังมีอดีตผู้นำอีกหลายประเทศด้วยคุณสุทธิชัยหยุ่นค่ะเลยตั้งโต๊ะเพื่อที่จะถามนะคะว่าแนวทางของสภาสันติภาพที่ว่านี้จะมีการดำเนินการยังไงบ้างค่ะ
Well, we start with the chairman. What is the whole purpose of getting top Asian wise men here together in Bangkok, sir?
Well, all started from our conference last year on Asia in the next decade. Some of the wise men came as speakers, and during one dinner we were talking to ourselves that what are the things that is needed in Asia,
Yes.
and we felt that there are pockets of problems in Asia. And there are experienced personalities.
Yes.
We have experience in the business sector, in the government sector, held high position. And these people are ready to render good offices if asked and if requested. So the idea is that perhaps we should have an organization, a council, where we can have these wise men sitting together collectively,
Yes.
utilizing their statures, experiences, expertise in working towards peace and reconciliation in Asia. So in the past year, I've been talking to some of our friends who were not present in the Asia in the next decade and tested this idea, and the idea was very, very well received. And I've been asked by many friends, many respectable friends, that perhaps we should have another round of discussion. That's why we call it a preparatory meeting, to really discuss on details of the establishment of the Asian Peace and Reconciliation Council. So we issue letters of invitation, and all of them are very kind enough to meet despite their very busy schedule.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And we really enjoy the session because they have vast experience, very resourceful, yet they are committed to work together for peace and reconciliation in Asia. This is very unique, Sudichai, because in Asia, we don't have the non-state actor peace and reconciliation body. So what is
what we have so far is official bodies.
We have official body. We have for example, in ASEAN, we have set up the ASEAN Institute of Peace and Reconciliation.
Right.
So that's in our term we call it Track 1.
Right.
Okay, and there are other Track 2 as well, NGOs, but not an organization that has policy makers, top academics getting together, ready to render good offices, to be peace facilitator, to promote peace dialogue, something like that. So this is very unique in my view.
Is there an agreement today that a council will be set up, sir?
Yes, there is the vision, the commitment by all involved, and many who are not here, many more throughout Asia, including some governments, but for instance my government, my president, prime minister, and others, very positive and willing to support whatever the council to be formed will need, because although this will be an independent entity, it will have to work with the powers that be. And so I found, in my experience, I have been an NGO, I have been an activist, I've been civil society.
Guerrilla fighter.
For decades.
Yes.
And I have found myself in the past 12 years in a state position, government position. So I understand very well the many sides of the equation. And I think the initiative by Dr. Rakirat and others, I'm a newcomer, because until May I was president.
Yes.
And so I very much think it's a great initiative, particularly with my colleagues, who are here. These are people with greater experience than myself, and can really help this region addressing some of these very serious challenges. Because we talk all the time about rising Asia.
Right.
Well, it can really rise, but it can also fall if we don't address some of the major challenges, conflicts that we face. And they, particularly with tremendous experience, understanding the limits of power, understanding and the possibilities of power and of civil society, I think can really help. So I'm very, very enthusiastic about helping and contributing.
Bala, there's so many conflicts in Asia, big and small conflicts. Where do we start, this group of people, to prove that you have some credibility?
Yeah,
It's a very ambitious plan, isn't it?
Yes, it
Like,
is.
where do you start to get at least the first step on the right track?
I think we have started today.
Yes?
When I was invited by Dr. Serkiat, and I have to consider some time before I could decide whether I would like to join.
Well, you were reluctant in the beginning.
At the beginning, yes, I was not sure what exactly is what going to be.
Yes.
And finally, I thought, he's a good friend of mine. We know each other for a very long time. So I thought that I would come and join. And I must say that the discussions today was very, very interesting. And following the discussions, many views have been given. And I think we are doing something good. We are doing something good, and therefore there's no reason why I should back out and I should forget about it. But I think this is an opportunity for me also to make whatever contributions there may be. In the future, we will know what is going to happen, but at least, what is important is that we want to have this organization, APRC.
Yeah.
If we have this, then we know what we can do. If we can act together, and if we act together, then I think the force will be stronger, and people will certainly take a look and will certainly respond to what we are going to say about some of the issues that that has to do with Asia, it has to do with ASEAN, it has to do with the world.
So ask this, where do we start? A small conflict, a big conflict? The challenge would be your first move would have to be successful, right?
Before I get into that, let me say that, as we just mentioned, Asia is a land of opportunity and growth. One of the key ingredients for any country or a region like Asia to grow, it is a mechanism for sustaining and maintaining peace and reconciliation. So that is part of the enabling environment which allows growth in any society or any country. So Asia is a very attractive continent. The world has recognized it as such. And this initiative, which has been started in Bangkok today, is a step in the right direction. All of us are here as individuals, as global citizens, and we work by consensus. So whatever is done is by consensus and consensus alone. Where we start and where we don't, we are going to cross that bridge in the next few days and months. But I think what is important is that peace is an ingredient for improving the life and quality of life of the people. And so we will, in our own humble way, contribute to this process of peace and development, because we believe they go hand to hand. Asia has, like any part of the world, conflicts or potential conflicts. So it is conflict avoidance
All right.
Conflict resolution, and of course reconciliation. These are the broad parameters of our sort of approach going forward.